morning, everybody. My name is Karla, and you've reached my FlossTube channel, KarlaBeingCrafty, where I talk about mostly cross stitch, but also other crafts that I enjoy and a little bit of life thrown in. So today is my FlossTube number 248. It is Sunday, June 30th, the last day of June. So welcome to the channel. Welcome to July tomorrow. And I hope that you like what you see. If this is your first time finding my channel, if you like it, please hit like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. It helps to build the channel and just makes me happy. And if this is not your first time finding my channel, then thank you so much for coming back and spending this time with me. You guys know I enjoy so much usually doing these videos, and I love your comments and seeing the numbers grow and all of that stuff. That's a little joy in my life. Now, I say I always enjoy doing these videos, and I do once I do them, although I have to say sometimes getting myself together and sitting down turning on the camera on my phone can be a tiny bit challenging. This morning, I woke up at 6:30 and I promptly went back to bed until 9. I just didn't want to get up, and then when I got up, I didn't want to get dressed, and then I thought, oh, I'll make cute little space buns, and they turned out looking kind of like flat pancakes on my head. So I just don't feel like I have it all together today. But you know what? You're not here for my beauty. You are here for my project. So I'm trying to keep that in mind. It's like 10:30, so it's later than I usually do the videos. Although how often do I say it's later than I usually do it? Maybe I don't usually do it that early anymore. My intention is to get up at 7:30 on Sundays and do the video, get it going by 8:30 and be done by 9, but that doesn't seem to have been happening lately. Oh well, it's all good. So thank you for everybody who sent me congratulations on my 5 years, because we are, I guess, actually kind of like past it. I think my first video was like the 26th or 27th of June. So definitely I've hit the 5-year anniversary or 5-year birthday of my channel. And as I said, my second video was 4th of July weekend in 2019. I think I actually did it on a Friday. I think it's the same as this year. I think 4th of July was a Thursday, and I did the video on the 5th of July on Friday. So yeah, it's exactly like it is this year, which is interesting. Anyway, so thank you so much for all of the people who said, congratulations. Laura, Stitching at the Shore, actually shouted me out on her video, which was quite nice. I watch her every week, so that's always fun when somebody says your name. I mean, 5 years, and that doesn't get old for me. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's the theater girl in me, the ego, the theater ego, but whenever anybody talks about me on their channel, I just am thrilled. So, yeah. But anyway, thank you for everybody who said that. Let's see. Zoom. I had a Zoom set up on Wednesday night, and I threw a party. No one came, which was actually, I have to say, fine. You guys all read my mind, because I was like running around like a crazy person, getting home, getting something to eat, and then I was like watching the clock. I'm like, if nobody's here by 6:15 or 6:20, I'm shutting it down, because I didn't want to be sitting up. I was tired. So I was perfectly fine with not having the Zoom that night. But I think I'm going to have to think about doing middle of the week Zooms, especially in the summer. I think it might be something that will work better in the winter when people don't have stuff to do in the evening. If you're out in the evening playing or having a barbecue or whatever summer type things people do, I think it's harder to get online. Whereas if it's cold and you kind of snuggled in for the night, then maybe it's a little bit easier. So we'll have to think about that. Also, I think I mentioned last time the little corner that I'm doing my Zooms in, whether it be Zooms with you guys or Zooms with my family. It's hot over in that corner, but I did find my little space fan. So we'll see if that helps. It's probably gonna make the sound even worse than it already is on my computer, but whatever. Okay, so before we get on to all the good stuff, I did want to give you guys a quick update because people have been asking, and so 2 months ago now, I told you guys about my car dying and that I've been having quite a saga with it. And I kind of haven't mentioned it in the last couple of weeks. And I'll be honest, I haven't mentioned it because it was just bumming me out. Like, I can't even describe. So yes, my car died. It has been, I still don't have it back. And I'm having a hard time getting hold of my mechanic. He does work out of his house, and, you know, so I know he's busy. He was getting very frustrated. It took a while to get the part that he needed. My car is quite old. It's a 2007. And so he, you know, the parts are not necessarily easily available. He found a part. It took a while to get the part. He finally got the part, and he's having trouble. Last I know, he's having trouble connecting the computer aspect of it to make the car work. I don't know. In the meantime, I do have a car now. My boss had an extra vehicle that they had for their daughter to use when she was back and forth from college, and she just recently graduated. She moved to Boston to start her job. She had a car herself, but it was back east where she was going to college. And then she sold it. But anyway, she finally, you know, she came back for the summer a little bit, and then she has just recently moved to Boston for her real life kind of thing. So they had this extra car. My boss has decided to kind of make it a corporate vehicle. He's going to change the ownership into his business, and he said that I can use it indefinitely, basically. I mean, he's not giving me ownership or anything of the car, but he, you know, it does behoove him for me to have a working vehicle so I can get to work. And actually, I pick up my coworker. So when I wasn't picking her up, he had to pick her up. So it actually behooves him for me to have a working vehicle. It is not a new car. It's like a 2013, but it's been extremely well maintained. Yeah, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen now at this point. I only have like a 2-week temporary parking pass for my apartment complex. So then I'm gonna have to let them know, you know, is this gonna be my permanent car? Yeah. So the way that I work mentally is when I have these things that are stressful, I can't dwell. I can't just, because the hamster will start working overtime and I won't sleep, and it's just, you know, so I kind of have to shove things that are slightly stressful back to the back of my brain and then attack, you know, them when I have to, kind of thing. I am extremely grateful to him for giving me the use of this car, and but it comes with its own set of questions and stresses. I don't know what's happening with my car. If my car does get fixed, then my boss is intimating that I should just sell it and use his. There's just a lot. And then if my car doesn't get fixed, how do I take care of it? You know, get it out of here. You know, I don't know. So there's a lot of things that I can't really tackle right now. And I'm not, I don't know how to say this politely. I'm not asking for advice. Please don't tell me what I should do, or you should try this, because that really creates stress levels in me. That's one reason I did decide to tell you guys, because every time somebody asked me about my car, because I hadn't mentioned in my video, I would just tense up. It's like, okay, now I have to tell them, you know. It's just, it's hard. It's a situation, it's an adulting situation that just creates a lot of stress in me. I've talked to you guys before about always feeling like, when's the other shoe gonna drop? And, you know, that's part of it. It's part of my own insecurities or whatever, anxiety things, where I feel like when bad things happen to me, I somehow feel like it's my fault. And I need to work on that with my self-talk. I mean, the thing with my car is like, I feel guilty, like my car is broken down. But when you start thinking about it, it's like, I've taken care of this car for almost 20 years. It's really in good shape, considering that it's so old. Most people don't have a 2007 car on the road. But I still feel like somehow, like, I'm responsible for it breaking. And like, I did something wrong. And that's hard. It's hard to deal with. And I can intellectually know that that's not right. But emotionally, you know, I can't always get those feelings out of my head. So anyway, the car thing is a continued stress, but rest assured I have a car so I can get places. It is a very safe car. It is a very, you know, in good shape car, and it is not costing me any extra money now, except for all the money that I spent on lifts for the last 2 months getting to work when I couldn't get a ride. So yeah, so I'm sure everything's going to work out for the best eventually. It just is going to take a little while to get there, and you know, and it's just one of those things that just causes me stress. You know, we all have our things. Laundry causes me stress because I can't get up and down the stairs. So I end up not doing laundry for a really long time, have a huge pile, end up doing a lot of hand washing of underwear and stuff. And yeah, I'm kind of in that place now too with my laundry. I'm at the point where I just want to throw away all my clothes. Have like 3 things to wear and that's it. Anyway, so all right, all of that life crap is out of the way. I do appreciate all of your encouragement and stuff like that. I ask, please don't give me too much advice, because it just it creates stress for me. Okay. Oh, the other thing that was interesting this week, you know, when I went to go set up my notes for the video, I was like, oh, I don't have that much to show them. I wasn't being creative this week, which isn't true. I have a big pile of stuff to show you, so I don't know what I was thinking. But I think I came from the fact that I was kind of tired this week. It is very hot. It is getting definitely into summer weather, high 80s, low 90s. I have had my air conditioning on at night because otherwise I won't sleep. But with air conditioning, I am comfortable. But I've been just kind of tired. And Wednesday and Thursday, and kind of Friday too, I went to bed early. I'm one of those people that I'm up at 1 o'clock. Not up, but I mean, I'm just shutting down at 1 o'clock. I had my lights out, just kind of watching TV and letting it. I always have to put my TV on like auto shut off. It's very easy for me to fall asleep to TV, but if it stays on all night, then it'll wake me up. So I have one of those auto shut offs on my TV. So I always, when I'm ready to actually like shut it down, I set it for half an hour to an hour on some sitcom that isn't going to grab my brain too much, and and do it that way. But I had my lights out like 2 or 3 days this week at 10. And so I must have fallen asleep before 11, and that is like way early for me. So I'm not sure that that's a bad thing. I think maybe I need to try and start, going to bed a little bit earlier and getting a little bit more sleep. Maybe my body needs it. I don't know. Okay. I think that that's it. For all of the preamble. Thank you for being patient with me when I talk about like mental struggles or just adulting struggles or whatever. I do appreciate that you guys are there for me, and giving me support. It does help. As much as I say don't give me advice, the commiseration is actually really nice. So, okay, on we go to crochet. So I have still been making scrunchies. I gave one to a friend, which was nice, and I made another one. And I'm also, my other friend at work, her hair's too short to wear scrunchie, but I was talking about him, she's like, what about a hairband? Can you make me a hairband so I can use it when I wash my face? And I'm like, I guess I could. I have those like really big elastics that I got them actually not to use as hairbands. I got them for crafting, but I have them and I have some extras in my drawer. And so I thought, you know what, I'll try and make basically the same pattern as a scrunchie, but with those big ones. So I started that for her, although it's going to take forever because just the design of the scrunchies, it's like, you do the stitches around the elastic part and then you kind of squish them as much as you can together and put more because you want it as many stitches on there to make it as ruffly as possible. And those hairband things are big, so it's going to take forever for me to do that. So I started that. The other thing that I started, and of course tomorrow I will be able to go ahead and print out my temperature blanket numbers. I mean, I guess I could have done it all along, But there's something in my brain that is like, I want to wait until the month is over and then print them and then do, you know, the previous one. So I'll be able to do that tomorrow. But in the meantime, I started a thing. Oh, I did work on my beaded bag, which is not, it's over there. I can't really grab it without getting up. But I don't know that it's exciting yet for you to see it. It doesn't have handles or anything yet. It's just growing. So I was sitting there, and a couple weekends ago, I reorganized my yarn. I had the yarn in some baskets over here. I thought it looked really cute. Like, I wanted it to be kind of almost display-like, but then I realized, like, it doesn't look great. It's not as easily accessible as I thought. I don't need it that way. And I was watching some crochet channels, and they were talking about, like, bugs and moths and things like that. And I don't think that we have that here in Southern California, but, you know, why take the risk of having, you know, bugs get into my yarn? Now, most of my yarn is acrylic, so it's probably not as much of an issue, but still, I thought I don't need it out. I got some big Ziploc bags. I put like yarns together, and I squished out as much air as I could just to make them compact, and I kind of packed them in a box, and I put it over there because it doesn't have to be over on display, and I can clear this area a little bit. Anyway, so one of the bags that I had 6 skeins of Lion Brand homespun, which I got originally because when I was all excited about making amigurumi, which, you know, that isn't done. It's not like I'm not going to do that again. But I made this mermaid, and I wanted to make maybe another one and her sisters, and this homespun, I think, makes gorgeous hair. So I got like 6 balls, because I never do anything, you know, by halves. I got 6 colors of this because I thought I'm gonna just be making these mermaids all over the place. Of course, I made one so far. So I had these homespun, which is I don't even know what you call it. I guess it's like a roving yarn that then is wrapped with another piece. So it's kind of like this textured yarn. And I was looking at this bag of that yarn, and I'm like, I should do something with that, right? And I had, as I said, I had 6. 5 of the colors kind of went together, and one was like an outlier, and I'm like, whatever I do, I probably won't use that one. So I went on a little search for a free, I had in my head, I kind of want to make a blanket, an easy blanket, but something that looks really cool, but is easy. And so I went to the Lion Brand website. I found a free pattern for this really cool triangle blanket, and it said it took 8 skeins. I have 5. So then I'm like, well, what do I do? And of course, when the pattern or the model was all one color, they used one like kind of variegated, and it was made for this homespun yarn. But I thought I could stripe mine, but then, okay, I'm 3 skeins short, and it's like, well, I can't just get 3 duplicates because then it's not going to be even, blah blah blah. Anyway, and then I was looking on like Joann, and I looked on Lion Brand, and then I went on Amazon, and I actually found a color on Amazon that I really loved that was way cheaper than on any other source. Not on Joann, even on sale. It's cheap, you know, it was cheaper. Just this color was. But it was fine because I really liked the color. So I got 3 balls of that. Actually, I got 4 because I had to spend $25 to get it delivered yesterday. You know, I did this in the morning, and I got a bug in my ear. And if I spent $25, it would have been delivered. It was going to be delivered by 8. So that's what I did. So that's my haul too, is I got 3 balls of this homespun, and this color is called Celestial Stripes. Look how pretty that is. And I thought it was going to go really well with the 5 other colors I had. So I figured out So what I'm making, it's called a triangle blanket, and you basically, you crochet like this big triangle, and then you kind of rotate it and you do another triangle attached to the edge of that triangle. So there's 6 triangles that make this big blanket. And I figured out, like, there's 56 rows. So I had, you know, 56 divided by 8 is 7. So I figured out, you know, how to separate it to do my stripes. So I don't know if I'm making any sense. So I'm using this celestial stripes in between each other color. And then the only thing I have to figure out is how, because I have 5 colors and there's 6 triangles, and I thought I would rotate the colors so that the whitest color is not always the same one. But then when I get to the end, it would be the same, so I don't know if I should then pick one from the middle. I don't know if that's making any sense to you. But anyway, so this is what I did yesterday. And it actually goes really quick once you figure it out. I did have a problem with row 6. I was like, I could not figure out, you know, mostly this is just like double crochet, and then you're basically decreasing at each end to make the triangle. But the row 6 is like you do this pattern, and I could not figure out. I was like, I did it like 3 or 4 or 5 times. I mean, it was just, this is not working. This is not right. What are they asking for? And finally I went back and I read the pattern again, and I realized that they had the abbreviation SK, and I was reading that as single crochet, and it means skip. So I'm trying to I was putting in like all these extra stitches, and I'm like, how are they getting this count? That doesn't make any sense. So once I figured out to actually read the pattern properly, then it went fine. So as you can see, my first color right here, and of course I left the yarn all over there, so I can't show it to you, but I'm sure I'm going to work on this today. So I am pretty sure that I will get the first triangle finished today, because it gets quicker as you go because it's getting smaller. So I have this grid. This color is called Forest. This is the Celestial Stripe. This is called Windsor. So I have like 7 rows of this, then 5 of this, and 7 of this, then be 5 of the next one of this again, which I just started. And then I have a lighter blue, and then it'll be this again, and then I have a lighter purple, and then this, and then the dark purple, which is actually this purple. And then when I do the second triangle, I was going to start with the blue, and then this will be the small one. So I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense in what I'm saying, but I think it's going to be really pretty. And I'm not sure it makes sense that I bought 3 balls of this to use up 5 balls that I had, but you know, it kind of makes sense in my brain. But anyway, that's how it looks so far. I think it's going to be fun. This is not as soft as like this. The Crone Simply Soft just feels really nice. This feels okay. I mean, it's going to be great for a blanket, and it's going to look really pretty. It's not quite as soft as the Simply Soft, but yeah, I had a bug in my ear. I wanted to do something new. I wanted to use that yarn, and so I did. So, yeah, I'm happy about it. So that is my crochet for this past week. On to the stitching. So I did a thing. I had a new start, and it's a little bit different than my typical cross stitch because it's not cross stitch. It is embroidery. So I showed you guys months ago, I bought 3 of these Jiffy Stitchery kits. These are 100% nostalgia for me because I remember having these kits and doing a tiny bit on them back when I was in my preteen years, I want to say. I never finished any of this kind of stuff. My mom was really, really wonderful at quill embroidery. She used to teach it, you know, so I would get kits and I would try these things all the time, and I never finished anything that I can remember. But I saw these on eBay. There's actually 4 windows, and I've been able to find 3 of them. I haven't been able to find the 4th one. And I bought them because just the nostalgia just washed over me. And I didn't know if I was ever going to stitch them, but I got, again, a bug in my ear. Actually, last Sunday, I think after my video, I just was like, hey, I should start those. So I have all 3 of them in here. They're old. I mean, they're from, what is the year? Is it on here? I think they're from, okay, now I'm on a quest. It actually, there was a needle in it that was rusted to the fabric. So that tells you. Copyright sensitive designs. Of course, they have it in XCMLXX1X. So I don't know what that is. See, there's 4. So the one I don't have is the butterfly window. I don't have that one. But these must be from the 70s. I mean, they look like they're from the 70s. If nothing else. You know. Anyway, so I started it. And I have to say, I was almost shocked, I think. Because I remember doing this stuff and just I was so bad at it, and like it took so long and it was so hard. And I don't know if it's because I'm older or because I have now experienced stitching. I don't know, but I felt like I was flying through it, and it looks good and it was fun. So yeah, so I'm this far, and oh, I covered up where the rust was on. Luckily it was within the pattern, so I knew it was gonna get covered up. But yeah, that's how old they were. The needle was rusted into the fabric. It was hard to get it out too. So yeah, so I'm actually kind of happy with this, and I'm definitely going to do all 3. I mean, who knows how long it will take me. But that's the sun window. And then this is the poppy. And this is the hummingbird. So I keep checking on eBay and Mercari and stuff like that, because eventually I really would like to find the butterfly window. But you know, again, these are so old that who knows if it even exists anymore. So, but I had fun. I really did. And I was really surprised at how much I liked it, and B, that it wasn't like super difficult. So I don't know, that's really weird to me, that I have memories of like, oh, I'm so terrible at quill embroidery, I don't like it, and blah, blah, blah. And it was fine. Okay, so that was my new start. And then I did have some whips this week. I worked on my little dad notes thing for my brother, which again I have to get done because his birthday is in the middle of this month and I want to get it mailed out to him. So I finished the second scale and just need to do that one, and then I can put on the 3 little buttons and finish it, and it will be good to go. Okay, I worked on Current Mood or April Showers this week. This is the one from the Just Cross Stitch Spring magazine, which I have over here, but I don't really want to haul it out. So I will just show you the little black and white to refresh your memory. It's just that one. I'm doing it with variegated sulky or sulky blendables for the raindrops, and then it's on a 22 count Hardanger Aida. So I have this big piece, and it's only going to take up like a tiny little portion. But, you know, sometimes I just don't feel like cutting my fabric until I'm done. So I did a bit more, a couple more lines of rain, and I kind of did the top of the umbrella. Now I know Debbie Siskoo is Glitter Dove Fairy on Instagram. She did this, and she charted a little dog to go next to the girl, and I thought it might be cute to steal that idea and make a little black cat. So I'm toying with that. I mean, I'm sure I can find a little black cat pattern in many places around here that would that I could adapt. So I might do that. Although cats don't go out in the rain, but you know, I do have a cat in the rain right there, so maybe it's not too out of the realm of possibility. Okay, what is this one? Oh, this is the hummingbird for my friend Tracy, and I worked on the flowers some more. Still haven't gotten my mail in, but I'm probably going to finish all the flowers and then I'll do him last. And this color of green, I was down to like 5 stitches when I ran out. So then I had to figure out what color it was, come back to my master, cut a little tiny piece so that I could finish the stupid 5 stitches. So that was a tiny bit annoying. Okay, I worked on my chatelaine this week, the green lace mandala. Did some more in the corner motif, which this is the top, so it actually goes like this, but you know, it's a mandala. So yeah, it's cute. I am enjoying working on this, but I'm also looking forward to getting done with it so that I can start another one, because I'm not going to let myself start another chatelaine until this one is done. I'm just not, you know. I don't obviously have that rule for myself with like the fancy ladies, but I mean, I have to draw the line somewhere, and I'm drawing it with chatelaine. Oh my god, this pink bag has baggy hair all over it. I mean, to the extent that I feel the need to actually hit it with this little thingy before I even go on with the video. This is supposed to show you that there's baggy hair everywhere, I'm sure, in my apartment, because he doesn't like sit on the bag or anything like that. So, like, why is it so covered? I'm sure there's just cat hair in the very air here. Okay. Okay, and then this is my Sweet Pea Fairy by Joan Elliott. And I think I worked some more in her shawl this week. So, yeah, in there. So pretty. She's just gorgeous. But she's gonna go back in the like whip bin for now, because I'm, you know, for July I'm pulling out other ladies, which I will show you in a second. So that is it for all of my whips, etc. And yeah, so you know, I thought I didn't really do anything this week, but obviously I did. So I don't know. I'm, you know, sometimes I feel like, ooh, I really was prolific and I got a lot of stuff done, and sometimes I feel like I didn't do anything, and it turns out I probably did about the same every time I think that. Okay, my hair is like being ridiculous. Okay, so haul this week, as I said, just the yarn that I bought on a whim yesterday to start this blanket, and then plans. So tomorrow is the 1st of July. If you're new to my channel, the way I kind of do my whips, I have somewhere around 40-ish, I think, whips. I don't know, I haven't counted lately, but somewhere between 30 and 50 I have. What I do is I have like maybe, you know, 8 to 10 projects a month that in my mind are like the focus for that month, and that's what I put into my more accessible area. And I created themes, which I've used for, this is the 2nd year, I believe, and I like them. And, you know, I managed to fit everything into these themes, even if it's kind of loose. And, yeah, so it kind of gives me just a little bit of structure on how I stitch each month. And, you know, there's no hard and fast rules. Obviously, if I get a real hankering to stitch on something that's not in the theme, I will. But it just kind of focuses my thought process a little bit. And it's like when I think about what I want to stitch on, I have them narrowed down. So I have like 10 projects to pick from that month. I also have a little wheel. So if I really, like, I want to stitch, but I just can't settle on projects, sometimes I'll use the wheel. You know, I'm very loosey-goosey with the rules for myself. So anyway, my July theme is floating fantasy. I like stitching on mermaids, but I only like to stitch on them in the summer when it's hot for some reason. So July is when I start pulling out my mermaids. And then the other things that fit into floating fantasy, you know, again, it's loose. So I have 2 mermaids on the go right now. Possibly I'll start another one if I get the, you know, the desire. This one I'm planning on finishing this July, so hopefully I will be able to. If not, I'll finish it before the end of the year. But this is the Black Pearl by Primitive Hair. Now, if you have watched me for a long time, you know I'm not a very primitive stitcher. So, of course, when I started stitching on this, I had to change everything to make it a little bit more me. I am stitching this all in silk and changed all the colors, and ooh, it's very wrinkly. So that's where I am with her. So she's done except for the very bottom of her tail, and then I have to do the outline and the words. And then my other mermaid is Enchantress of the Abyss by Bella Filipina. She is, I think she's just so pretty. Now she's being stitched on Aida that I dyed myself. This was a big saga, this fabric. I had a very specific idea of what I wanted as far as how I wanted the fabric to look, and I could not find it. And ended up having to dye it, and tried like a couple different times. I wanted to stitch her on like on Lugana, and the Lugana would not take the dye and stay as dark as I wanted it. So I ended up having to do it on a cotton Aida, and the fabric turned out exactly how I wanted it. And she, I think, is just so pretty. Oops. So, yeah, I'm really happy with how she's turning out. And I've been stitching on her every summer for the last, I think, 3 years. And, well, I guess this will be my 3rd, I think. but I am excited to make some more work on her, or get some more work done on her. So her hair is done. I started to, I did a little bit of the beading up here. But I'm always careful when I do my beading before I'm done with the project, because I do stitch in a hoop and I don't really want to have to put try and put the beads in the hoop. I don't know if you can see the beads, but so I don't bead indiscriminately when I'm kind of only partly through. But sometimes, I get to a point where it's like, I just got to see what it looks like with the beads. So I feel like I need to switch out this bag because this is kind of too small. So this might have to switch with something. Okay, so those are the mermaids, but then also in the floating theme, I have Wind, Moon, Fairy, which, I don't know, I guess because wind, that made me think of floating, air, and such. She is a Dimensions Gold kit. And so being stitched completely on with all the kit stuff. I have not eaten breakfast yet, and my tummy is rumbling. So I'm sorry if you hear it. I don't think you will be able to, but this is my classic Winnie the Pooh. I always pull this out for floating because, he's got the balloon. This is the one with the endless balloon. I will be stitching on this for 20 years, I feel like, because I'll stitch on it and stitch on it and stitch on it. It doesn't look like any difference has been made. I am going to bring this one as like my alternate piece. I'm going to bring it when I go to the When You Wish Upon a Stitch retreat in November, because it will be mindless stitching to fill in the balloon and fill in the poo. It's just 3 colors. It's like, and the only one that you have to pay attention to is the black. So I still have a ways to go to finish him, but then it's just fill in. This is on a piece of fabric that I found on eBay when I first started stitching. And it was some hand-dyed, I think it's called Gelati or something. And I kept going back to it because this is back again in 2019. And you could get some really good deals. I think a lot of that stuff is, is gone now. But there were some like really cool things that you could get. And I kept going back to that piece of fabric. But I kept thinking, like, what could I do with a piece of like blue-gray fabric with big pink splotches on it? It's like, what would you use that for? So I kept getting drawn to it, but I didn't pull the trigger until I thought about doing a Winnie the Pooh, this particular Winnie the Pooh design, which is very significant to me. It's a memory of my dad, a moment in our lives when I was a little kid. And when I thought about that story with Pooh holding onto the balloon and floating, I'm like, that looks like big pink fluffy clouds. So yeah, it was perfect. But when I got the fabric, I didn't even consider the fact that this Pooh chart that I got is like giant. So it barely, like, there's like an inch of margin. But anyway, and then the last one that is kind of on my list for next month is Ella the Frog Princess. This picture always is like super washed out. Frogs float on lily pads. And there's our out with her. So I still have the 1/1 on her arms to finish, and then the rest of her giant dress. She's pretty. 1/, and this is 1/1 on the skin, which I'm not doing anymore. I'm doing 2/1/10 if I'm gonna do the tiny skin. But I think she looks good. Okay, so that is it for next month for my plans. Yeah. And, oh, and then I also need to finish stuffing my Starburst and Stripes pillow and finish sewing it closed. But, you know, that's just been sitting here on my desk. Haven't done it yet. So I have to. So I wanted to get this done, you know, so I can say it was done by 4th of July. So hopefully next week you will see this finished. So that's about it. Again, 4th of July, a holiday here in the US, is on Thursday. My office is closed, of course, because everything's closed on Thursday. My office is open on Friday, but I will not be there. I decided to go ahead and take a full-on vacation day because I want the 4-day weekend. So, knock wood, I will be healthy. I have a joke with Julie stitching at the cabin because it seems like every time I have plans for a 4-day weekend, I get sick or something. Last year on 4th of July, I got COVID. So let's hope that doesn't happen again. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to have a relaxing and productive weekend and get some stuff done around my apartment, some like chore stuff done, and get some crafting stuff done, and, you know, be really productive. That is always my goal, although I don't reach it all the time. So I guess that's about it. Plans today, you know, I think I'm gonna crochet, work on that blanket. I really want to get that first triangle done, and yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing that. I made some base for a shrimp cocktail sort of, you know, like almost it's like a cold vegetable soup, and then I put some shrimp in it and some avocado. So I had that last night for dinner, but I made enough of the base and I didn't put the shrimp in. I have the shrimps in the freezer, so I can have that again today. It's like one of those, like, I feel like it's super delicious, and yet it's all vegetables, so it's really good for me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having that. I also have a little bit of ice cream in the freezer, so that's not as good for me, but I'm looking forward to that as well. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful beginning of summer or beginning of winter if you are on the other side of the world, and staying cool when it's hot, eating some nice, healthy, delicious food. If you're having barbecues this weekend or next weekend coming up, I hope you enjoy those. And all in all, I wish you all a very happy and healthy and stitchy week. And until I see you again, please remember to be content, be kind, and be crafty. This is Karla. Bye-bye.